Namaste everybody and Hare Krishna. So I did something today that may or may not be a smart idea, but it turned out great, and I was thinking about making a video of me doing it, but I didn't know how it was going to end up. And excuse the mess, I just came back from vacation, and that is why I've not been filming. I had finals week, and then I had vacation, and I needed to just study stress out. But anyway, so this saree is no longer my saree. What do you mean by that? Did I sell it? What did I do to it? Well, anyway, it was ripping. The border was falling off on the top part, and I was trying to figure out what to do because I really love this saree and it means a lot to me, and especially because it is the first saree I've ever owned. And so I was thinking about what to do with it. What should I do? I decided to figure out how to sew. And if you know me, I have terrible eyesight, but luckily at my local Walmart, they had a sewing kit for people with bad eyes like mine. And so I sewed the saree into a skirt, and with this beautiful dupatta that my sister gave me, I made a gopi dress, or a lengha. I think of this as more of a gopi dress because this is not something that I would it's not as fancy as what I would call a lengha. A gopi dress, I believe, is like a less fancy version of a lengha. Like, it's still like fancy to me, but it's like less fancy. So here's what I did. What I did is I took an elastic band, which right here is the ones that I used, and I measured my waist with the elastic band, and I cut it off where my waist my waist measurement ended. And that is how, I didn't pin this dupatta because I wanted to show everybody how I did this. But anyway, so I measured my waist, and then I cut it, and then I started pleating the saree fabric. So what I did was I pleated and I sewed up the saree fabric. And I sewed it like very many times because I am terrified of it falling apart. I am not the best sewer, and I can even show you some mistakes that I made while sewing this. And what I did is I pleated it, I sewed it up, and then I just kept sewing it up. And then when my whole saree was completely pleated and sewed up, I sewed this together. I'm gonna get it to about here. This is what. I sewed this together, and then I just started wrapping the pleated saree around and sewing it, and just kept going around until I reached the end. And as you can see, here's where the end turned out. I thought about cutting this off and sewing it in, but I just kind of liked this look of it being there still, because one thing I loved about this saree was the heavy bordering on it. I always liked the heavy bordered sarees. I don't know why, but I really like it. I think it's because it gives me like a guideline about where I'm supposed to be when I'm wrapping it. But anyway, you can see I made about, in each pleat I made it about an inch, and that's how I did that. Now, I couldn't find any video. I could hardly find any videos about how to do this. Most of the videos that I found were in Hindi, and I didn't understand any of it. So I kind of had to do this by myself, and I don't know how to sew very well. I'd never been good at sewing. I got an F in, I guess the life class that we had that taught you like life-saving hacks in middle school, and I failed the sewing unit because I can't sew. And I will show you some of the mistakes that I made. As you can see, there's like little yarn, I should say little sewing. I'm trying to find the other one. Oh, here it is. There's some areas where I made mistakes. and I couldn't get it out without destroying the border. And I will show you what I mean. So this is the part of the border on the bottom that was falling off. Now, for me, I could not get rid of this. So to do this, to recycle it was a much better choice, and I don't like wasting fabrics, especially like expensive fabrics like this. Sarees are not cheap. Some places actually are cheap, like in India, they're really cheap, but here in America, they're not that cheap. When you run across somebody selling sarees, they're very expensive because they're selling it as like exotic, international thing. And yes, I've been outside and I've been working. My makeup's already coming off. Thank you. But anyway, this is what I did to my saree. I hope everybody enjoys it. And maybe next time if I get another old saree, which I really hope I don't do this to another saree. I love my sarees. I love the different drapes I can do with it. That's my only negative thing with lenghas. You can't do as many fun things. Like, you can drape the dupatta, but you can't, like, move around the whole fabric, and I like that about sarees. But I hope you guys enjoy and have a nice day. So, bye.